Hello, guys, and welcome to Neeks Sports Watch Along for the F1 2022 Bahrain Grand Prix. It's the first race of the new season. Um, I'm expecting a spectacle. I'm going to take you lot through it. I'm going to be watching the race live. Um, I'm in my office, so I don't have a TV in here. I think it's on channel 4, I believe. I'm not sure. Or maybe on Sky. But because I don't have a TV in here, I can't watch it like live. So I'm going to be watching a stream. So if you lot are watching it along with me, you might find that I am a tad bit behind, just a tad bit behind. So forgive me for that. I've got Neeks waiting in the background, so I'm gonna jump him in and see if he's got a few words. It looks like he's walking down the street, so I think he's got something to say. Neeks,
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah,
Why, listen, the season's about to start.
it's about to start.
I'm excited, you know. I'm excited. As bad as Mercedes are, and the thing is, I've always stated, I'm not, excuse me, I'm walking up a hill, so if you have heavy breaths, that's what it is. But yeah, if I've never been a fan of like an individual team. So whether it's Mercedes or Ferrari, McLaren, it's always been about the drivers for me.
Yeah.
So I'm a Hamilton fan, innit? I'm not a Mercedes fan, I'm a Hamilton fan. But I like Formula One. I like competitive racing. And apart from a few drivers, I don't have a bone to pick of anyone. So if it means, you know, Leclerc has a good season and Ferrari win, I'm not against it. I'm only against Verstappen winning. That's the only thing I'm against. Because he's got a asterisk on that first championship. So he has to just hold that. And that's it. No more. No more. But yeah, that qualifying and the testing and all that got me ready. Got me ready for the season.
It did. It got me ready as well. It got me ready. I think the only thing that kind of shocked me a bit was the fact that McLaren are nowhere to be seen. Neeks is frozen. I don't know if he
No,
filled out
hey, I'm
yet.
here. So it's when I leave the website, then it just cuts my camera back. But I can still hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
McLaren.
Yeah,
McLaren. Go carry on.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously their car's not up to scratch. I don't know if it affected Daniel a little bit more because obviously he's just recovered from COVID, didn't it? So I don't know how bad his symptoms were. He still might be like feeling the after effects. So obviously he might not be 100%. Hence why he went out in Q1. But obviously the car's still not up to scratch. Obviously it's because Lando going out in Q2, so the car's not that good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing because I didn't even consider that when I was thinking, oh, Ricardo, you done terrible, but we know the car's bad, clearly. But yeah, he had COVID in it, so
yeah,
similar to there's people like Sonoda, for example, AlphaTauri. Is it AlphaTauri?
yeah,
Where he didn't even get to run on FP3
yeah,
because of some, I think, hydraulic leak in the car. He had Hulkenberg, who's just come back from basically not racing for how long, and you see the effects of just not having that consistent preparation that other drivers have. And I think you saw that with Ricardo, because as bad as the car is, Ricardo should be getting out of Q1. There's no reason. I don't care how bad the McLaren is. It can't be worse than some of the other cars that came above him. So yeah, the COVID thing probably affected him more than I gave him kind of recognition to. But the McLaren car, I mean, it was talked up a lot during the pre-season in terms of the way it looks and all that. I think we've had it in the past when you look at certain cars, you're like, this. Actually, no, we've had it in McLaren a couple of years ago. They were like, this McLaren car is like perfectly made. It just needs a better engine. Now, I don't know if it's an engine issue. I don't think it is. But I just think, yeah, McLaren are much further away from where most people expect them to be. So I'm glad I got them out of my fantasy team as soon as I did, because that would have been embarrassing.
Unfortunately for myself, I've got Daniel Ricciardo in my team. So I mean that's all I've got. I've got no Lando, no constructors, but I've got Daniel. So he's sitting on 1 point at the moment. So I'm guessing the best I can hope for is.
Well, where's he starting? Was he 16th or 17th?
17th.
Was he starting? 17th.
17th, yeah.
So he's gonna. Well, he should. He's not. It's possible that he can get some overtaking points for the fantasy. But if he actually ends
I'm
up with,
expecting it.
but I don't know if he's actually going to end up in the points, because if the car's that bad that in terms of one lap pace, what is their race pace going to be that much? I don't know. I don't know.
It's true, and the thing is, they can't even change much because obviously once you do start qualifying, you're in Park Fermé rules, so it's not like they can make any significant changes to the car to say, all right, we need to sort this out. It's really minor stuff like wing angles and minor stuff that they can do. So yeah,
But
car's
Kyle,
insane.
I was gonna say, you as a Ferrari fan, you must be absolutely buzzing.
I am.
You know, Leclerc on pole, Sainz, and the truth is, Sainz in third is a bit of a bit of a disappointment, because Ferrari should look at the front row. I think Sainz made a little error. Well, no, what Sainz said was that he wasn't basically 100% comfortable with the car, so he was thinking about the lap while going around it, as opposed to just being free and instinct, and that probably cost him. But it's only like 600th of a second or 1,000th of a second even behind Verstappen, so it could easily be a Ferrari 1-2. You must be buzzing.
No, I'm absolutely buzzing. But again, like, this is Max, isn't it? This is Max, and Max is a very aggressive driver, and we don't know how the others are gonna be able to handle it, in the sense that Hamilton was happy, not happy, but Hamilton was 36, 37. He's a very experienced driver, and he knows, right, if I'm going to win this championship, I've got to play it careful and smart. Now, Leclerc is a young driver. He is Verstappen's competitor. Them two used to go-karting and race back in the day as rivals. So they're rivals, even though they weren't rivals in terms of fighting for championships, but they are like buddy rivals. And I don't know if he's going to wield the same way that Hamilton wielded last season, giving him the space. This guy's crazy, backing out of certain corners because they don't want to crash. Now, if Leclerc's not like Hamilton and he's more committed and he's like, I'm gonna give what Max gives, we could see a lot more crashes at the front of the pack. So yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Go on, go on.
I'm a little nervous because, like, it's not like Leclerc's going to race away from Max. That is not going to happen.
No.
Max is going to be there. And if Max is like, I want to get early wins under my belt, it could be feisty and fiery at the front. So yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's like, I think Hamilton already said this season. He said before, like during testing, he said this season basically I'm getting my elbows out. I'm not, when it comes to Max especially, I'm not giving him anything, because last year I gave him everything. And that we saw what the result was. I'm not giving him anything, and I feel like when we saw on Drive to Survive how a lot of the paddock and all that, they were kind of rooting for Red Bull. Yeah. Go on, you lot are going to be the guys to take over. To beat Mercedes. We can't 8 years in a row, whatever. Can't beat them. So I think there was much more leniency within the whole F1 community towards Red Bull. That's not going to be the case this year, because now you're the champion. You are the hunted one. So teams are not going to, like, drivers are not just going to be moving over because you're Max. No, you're the champion. Learn how to drive and get past me. I'm not yielding. And I feel like Leclerc, especially in the car that Ferrari's got, a competitive car. In the past, it's like, what? Red Bull, Mercedes so far ahead, there's no point fighting them. My race is behind me. I am fighting with McLaren or what's it, another team. This is your race. Your fight is at the top. So you can't give anything. So I feel like, 2 young drivers, obviously 1 champion, Leclerc's going to have to get his elbows out. And you got Sainz there, he's in third. If he can get a good drag down from the start, he could potentially get in between Leclerc and Max, and at least hold up Max for a bit, if not pull away. Well, I say pull away, but a little, if not hold position. But I think that first corner is going to be tasty. I'm hoping Hamilton gets a good start and just get a podium. Look a third place. I'll take that. Keep it moving. Damage imitation, innit?
Yeah. And I wanted to quickly touch on because I was looking at like some Twitter comments and stuff, and seeing what the community was saying, and I'm like, I'm glad that these guys are hitting Russell with the same stick that they would have been hitting Bottas with, because he qualified in P9, and let's not forget, he is Hamilton's partner, and as much
Yeah,
as the Hamilton fans want Hamilton to win, it's going to be very difficult, as proven last season, when your racing teammate is not there to support you. And he's there in
yeah,
P9, and Bottas in an Alfa Romeo is in P6. And I was glad to see that. And like I said, I ain't got nothing against Russell. I ain't got nothing
mm,
against Bottas, and I ain't for them. Like, I just think they're good drivers. I think Russell's got more to prove than Bottas, in the sense that he's a young upcoming driver. For me, he hasn't proven that he is like, oh, the next best thing.
yeah,
I feel like he was good in qualifyings
yeah,
in the Williams, but when it came to race day, I mean, obviously the car, it wasn't his best car, but still in race day and his race management, I've still got a lot to see
yeah.
from him.
Tire management, all those kind of things.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's still a lot to see. So he has something to prove to me. Like, he has something to prove this season. And already, for someone that was known as Mr. Saturday, P9
Yeah.
is extremely poor in a Mercedes. That's very poor.
Well, I
There's
was watching
very poor.
Ted Kravitz's notebook on Sky F1, and he's like, I think he's the one that actually coined the term Mr. Saturday, and he's like, I can't call him Mr. Saturday anymore anyway, because not he said not because of the P9, but the fact that he's in a Mercedes. So like,
Yeah,
you're supposed to be in in Q3 every single time and up in the top five. I guess maybe top six in the current car, but whereas in the Williams, obviously it was a case of him overachieving. I don't think we're going to see a case of him overachieving, but definitely that that quali was Q3 very poor from Russell. I think he said something. I put in the chat before, and he said something about they tried something. They rolled the dice and it didn't work. So I was trying to
yeah.
work out what did he do different. So I think it was a case of, well, he said they pushed harder on the outlap. I don't know if it's a case of trying to
Okay.
get more heat into the tires. I don't know. But
Yeah.
he went too hard on the outlap and burned out the tires before the the flying lap.
So again, that's basically like a lack of experience.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So that's how he
Fair.
ended up. That's how he ended up. Must be a second and a half, I think, off pole, whereas Hamilton was about 7/10 off pole, I think.
And another thing that he's going to have to handle, which he didn't have to handle in the Williams car, is the pressure. Williams, there was no pressure on him.
Yeah.
And then through the season, he got his new team, and we even saw a drop off of when he got his new team. We didn't see the same performances in qualifying that we did from him throughout the season. Once he got that contract for Mercedes, he kind of dropped off a bit, and now he's got to handle pressure. So now we're going to see how he's going to handle pressure, because there was no pressure at Williams. It's free driving.
This is the thing. When he's like, when we criticize Bottas, it's never purely on his racing ability. The fact that he got the Mercedes drive because it's what he had done when he was at Williams, but it's about being able to manage the expectations of a title challenging or title winning team, and that pressure and that experience and that kind of race management is where Bottas struggled at times, more so last season than before.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what Russell. But maybe the fact that Mercedes are quite uncompetitive at the moment might actually play into Russell's hands, because maybe there's not going to be that much expectation, but he has to be closer to Hamilton. As a bare minimum, he has to be closer to Hamilton. I remember when even Verstappen was, when Red Bull weren't really challenging, but I think it was Gasly, he was so far off the pace. Yeah, you were never going to win it, but you need to be closer to Verstappen. And they, obviously they got rid of Gasly and brought in Perez and all that kind of stuff. So, well, I think it was Albon actually brought in first, and then Perez. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But listen, I'm going to hop off. I'll watch the stream, and I may jump on at some point. But yeah, hope for a good race. Make sure you check the comments in the chat as well.
Yeah, I will.
All right.
Bless, bless. Sammy, how long are these races last? In terms of time, they're usually about an hour and a half, depending on the circuit. Obviously, because if you got a longer lap time, you get less. Longer single lap time, you get less laps. You can get anywhere between 54 to like 72 laps. And obviously, if you've got a quick track, then obviously you get more laps because obviously you're traveling less distance each lap. So it really depends. At the moment, we have got all of the cars going around doing their formation lap. Most of them, I've seen pretty much all the cars, they're on the soft tires. So the softest tires, the fastest compound. Usually from like last season, they normally are on the medium. I'm assuming because we didn't know how competitive the cars were going to be. So every team gave it their all in Q2. But yeah, they're just coming towards the end of their formation lap. Charles Leclerc on pole is just about to pull up into his position, and the rest of the 19 cars are going to pull up behind him, and then we will line up for lights out, and then lights out to turn 1. So stay tuned for the next minute. It's really going to heat up. No worries, Jem. I got you back. I'll let you know every detail. We're currently zoomed in on Horner. Horner's got his arms folded, looking at the screen intensely. Looks nervous, to be fair. He looks nervous. Alpine in their pink livery. That actually looks. I love it. I love their pink livery. I wish they were gonna have it more than 2 races this season. I love it. And the final car is now pulling up. Last car. Here we go. Green flag waves. First lap, second, third, fifth. Lights out. Brilliant start from Charles Leclerc. Brilliant start. Max is looking up for an overtake. Max tries to go down the outside. Tries the old switcheroo. Sainz tries to nip his nose down the inside. Hamilton's made up places already. All right, they're looking pretty set. Oh! Whoo! Magnussen nearly went into the back of Hamilton. Oh my God. Got out just in the nick of time. So we've got the front three remain the same. I mean, they tussled around a bit. But it's Leclerc leads, Max second, Sainz in third, Hamilton's in fourth, Magnussen's in fifth, and Perez is in sixth. We're currently in the middle of the pack, and there's like 5 cars side by side. Schumacher, McLaren cars, the 2 McLaren cars. Mick Schumacher trying to make an overtake. And Ricardo, I think Ricardo spun out. Ricardo's in dead last. He's right at the back. He's in 20th. Ricardo's had a shocking start. All right, so the front 6, so from Leclerc back down to Perez, they've kind of settled into places. The middle of the pack, they're still tussling. We've got the Haas cars, Lando Norris, Bottas had a shocking start. Bottas is in 14th. Bottas qualified in P6 and he's in P14th. I need to see a replay because there was a lot going on and the camera kind of caught the front and you kind of missed what happened in the middle. But something happened to Bottas and he's down in 14th. Bottas is flown right down. George Russell, who qualified in P9, has made up 2 places in P7. Magnussen's up to 6th from 8th, so a good start from him. Yeah, Sergio Perez is in 6th from 4th, so he went down 2 places. Not good for him. All right, so everyone's settled in. After the 3rd lap, when DRS gets enabled, it will start to heat up because the cars are really, really close. There's no one like just dusting away. Like Leclerc, he ain't leaving Max. Max is still within a second. Sainz, I say, is right 1.2 behind Max. So Max might have pulled out of his DRS zone. But Max is right behind Leclerc. So once we get past that 3rd lap and we get DRS, it's all gonna change. Like, literally 4, 5, 6, 7th, and 8th. Like, there's literally like 2 seconds between all of them. They're gonna have like a huge DRS train, literally. Like, there is. I'm looking at it now. There's 6 seconds between first and 7th, which is Leclerc to Russell. There's 6 seconds between Russell and Leclerc. There's going to be a huge DRS train. And Perez has overtaken on the exit of turn 4, has nipped down the inside of Magnussen. Then Perez is up to 5th, Magnussen down to 6th. Now Perez is behind Hamilton. Perez is directly behind Hamilton after passing Magnussen, and he's chasing Hamilton. And he's within Hamilton's DRS zone. So he's got a chance to overtake. But again, Hamilton's also in the DRS zone of the car in front. It's crazy. And I want to see a replay. So we've got a replay here of Max Verstappen's race start. Max didn't have the best of start. Yeah, average start for Max. And we're looking at Hamilton's start. It looks like Hamilton jumped the start. He launched so early. Like, it's hard to tell, but he launched very early. He got a good start. He got a very good start, but he launched early. Mick Schumacher got very fortunate with that crash. So that was so serious. That was sick. So Mick got at the race start. Nick got nipped from behind. His rear tire got touched, and he spun out. But it was a 360 spin. So he 360 and continued going, but he lost 2 places. Lucky he didn't end up in dead last. Max is complaining in mid corners. He's saying his engine is making funny noises and doing funny things in corners when he's turning, and his brakes. So Max is not happy with the car right now. He's saying there's problems. So we have to see. Charles Leclerc has pulled out of Max Verstappen's DRS zone. So Max isn't within DRS zone range of Charles Leclerc anymore. Verstappen is 1.5 seconds behind. Hamilton is right behind Sainz. Magnussen keeps missing his braking zone. And it has allowed Russell through. He did the same against Perez when trying to defend, missed his braking zone, went too deep and missed the corner, and then they just went down on the inside. And Russell's done the same thing. So Russell's up to 6th from 9th. Perez is in 5th, down from 4th from his race start. Hamilton's up into 4th from 5th. Hamilton is actually right behind Sainz, but Sainz is doing a very solid job just holding his position. Doesn't look under threat or anything. Sainz looks comfortable. We've got Max in 2nd, who he's losing time to Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc is pulling away. And yeah, Charles Leclerc leads the Grand Prix currently. Obviously, there's a lot of racing to be done, a lot of laps to be done, and a lot of strategy. We've got Ferrari with 2 cars in play. We've got Red Bull with 2 cars in play, with Max in second, Perez in fifth. And remember, these guys, it's not like it was last season where these guys are 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds ahead and pulling away. This, the pack is, everyone's close. In the one camera shot, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cars coming down the home straight. I can see 10 cars coming down the whole straight from first to 10th. So there's a lot of cars in place. Now, pitting, you got to be thinking about where you're coming out, who you're coming out behind, are you coming out in sixth, or you coming out in fifth? Because at the moment, there's not a lot of time being gained here by the guys at the front. They are not pulling away. They are not pulling away at all. Esteban Ocon has been given a 5-second time penalty for crashing Mick Schumacher. So he was the one that caused Mick to spin out. He nipped him on the back. He nipped him on the back, hit his rear tire, and Mick spun out. But yeah, he's been given a 5-second time penalty. So yeah, I'm agreeing with what the guys are saying in commentary, Crofty and Co. Basically, they're saying that it looks like these cars. Obviously, this is what was said pre the start of the season. We were saying that the cars are going to be able to follow more closely behind. Ooh, yeah, they're going to be able to follow more closely behind and not be affected by like dirty air and losing grip and losing time. And that's exactly what these guys are saying. It's looking like that's being, true. Like everyone is closely behind. No one's not talking about losing the grip, no lack of grip, not in their dirty air, struggling for, gripping corners when they're following closely behind, so they have to back off. No, everyone is literally right up the back of each other and they're looking like they're really unaffected by, dirty air and loss of grip. So it's that's what I'm saying. It's making for more competitive racing because everyone is so close together. The front runners are not pulling away, and pit stops are going to be more crucial than ever. You can't just get an early pit and say, okay, we want to undercut or overcut or whatever and get the jump on someone because you might come out in 10th and get stuck in traffic. So we're going to have to see how this race pans out because it's looking very interesting. Um, Sammy's asked who's winning the UEFA Champions League. Honestly, it's a tough one. I genuinely think it's going to be from what I saw in the quarterfinal and semi-final draw. I think Liverpool beat Benfica, and I think Bayern will beat Villarreal, and then obviously them two will bucket each other in the semi-final. Liverpool, Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich will beat Liverpool, and Man City is on the other half, and I think Man City will make it to the final. Who's Real Madrid got? Real Madrid has got Chelsea. I think Real Madrid will beat Chelsea. I can't remember who Man City got. Man City got. I can't remember, but whoever Man City got, I said they would win, and I think Man City will beat Real Madrid, and I think it'll be Man City Bayern Munich final, and I can't predict who will win the final, but I would go. It's so hard to tell because like the form the teams are in now might not be the form that they're in come the Champions League final. Like there's time for everything to change, but I don't know. Maybe Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich or Man City. I can't really pick. It's a tough one to say. But I will say this though: if Man City don't win it, they'll win it next year if they get Haaland. If they get Haaland, obviously they're strongly linked with Haaland. Apparently they've got a deal in place. They've agreed contract terms. They've just got to agree a fee, etc., so on and so forth. So if they get Haaland, there's a lot of fighting going on here. A lot of fighting. But yeah, if they get Haaland, they win in Champions League. They win in Champions League and they win in Premier League next season. So yeah, if teams want some trophies now, if Liverpool want the league, they best win it this season. any other team wants the Champions League, they better win it this season because Man City is cleaning up next year if they get Haaland. Like, honestly, it's going to be a wrap. Because that's what Man City is missing. Man City is missing a world-class quality striker, and their team is unbeatable. They can be got at the moment because they ain't got a striker. They ain't got a striker. So they get a striker of Haaland's quality, they're unbeatable. Honestly. So at the moment, let me just give you a quick update on this Formula One. So at the moment, every single car on the track, bar the two McLarens, so Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo, who are running in 18th and 20th, are on the soft tires, except for them two boys who are on the medium tires. So they're going for a much longer first stint. Everyone's going for their shorter stint. Oh yeah, City versus Atletico, of course. Yeah, City will beat Atletico. They're awful. We saw how bad they were against Man United. They're fifth in La Liga. They're not even going to qualify for La Liga. I mean, for Champions League through La Liga. Yeah, I don't think so anyway. Man City will dispatch of Atletico comfortably. Um, but yeah, so everyone on track right now is on soft tires. We're talking about and thinking about getting their first pits in. The two McLarens are going for a longer stop, obviously on a slower set of tires, but going for a longer first stint. So obviously they're going to make up places while everyone's taking their first pits. Going to try and get some clear air. Going to try and make up some time. So they're on a different strategy. So we got to keep our eyes on them. Yeah, and everyone else is on the soft tires. We've got a lot of jostling going on. Like there's constant battles, constant lockups, constant overtaking, because everyone's just so close together. Got Hulkenberg locking up, trying to overtake, ended up losing a place because the car behind just went through because he locked up. So you make a mistake trying to overtake, you lose a place because the person behind you overtakes you. So Perez has just opened up his DRS and has overtaken Hamilton. So now Hamilton is down to fifth. Perez is up to fourth. So now Perez is trying to catch Carlos Sainz as he's overtaken Lewis Hamilton. That was a very smooth overtake by Perez. Very smooth. Fernando Alonso said that his tires are undrivable at the moment. They're really bad, but we're about 2 laps away from the pit window opening. Alonso looks like he's going to be the first one in. He's going to jump straight in as soon as the window opens. So we're getting up to a couple of laps away from the first pits. Alonso is currently in 10th. Ocon, his teammate, is in 9th. Ocon went past because Alonso just, let him through because his tires were suffering. So I said, you know what, buddy, just go past. So Ocon's up to 9th, passing Alonso. Pierre Gasly's in 8th. Magnussen's in 7th. George Russell's in 6th behind Hamilton in 5th. The distance between the two, Russell is currently 3 seconds behind Hamilton, who are in 5th and 6th. So the Mercedes are running side by side. And then we've got Ferrari, Red Bull, Ferrari, Red Bull. So Leclerc is leading Verstappen by 3.2 seconds. Verstappen is in second, ahead of Sainz in third by by 5 seconds. And then Sergio Perez, who was held up a bit because he had a bad start, he was held up by Hamilton and etc. He is 3 seconds behind Sainz, but he no, sorry, not 3 seconds. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's 3 seconds behind Sainz. So he's making up time there, trying to catch Carlos Sainz. And we've got our first pit. We've got our first pit, and it's not Alonso, it's Mercedes. And it's Lewis Hamilton, who is the first driver into the pit. Lewis Hamilton is the first driver into the pit. Now, I'm assuming that very, very, very clean pit stop. It was 3.4 seconds. It was clean. I think there was a little trouble on the front and right, but it was a clean pit stop. 3.4. He's in. He's out. He's going on the hard tires, so not even medium. He's on the hard tire, the hardest compound, the slowest compound, and he's looking like he's going to go a very, very long distance. Hamilton squirming his way out, sliding left and right, no grip, trying to defend from being overtaken on his pit exit. Nearly lost the car off the track, and he's lost another place to I don't know how to say his name. The new boy Zhao, the new driver Zhao. He's lost it. So Hamilton's down to 12th after his pit stop. Lewis Hamilton is down to 12th. He's on the hard compound. The first driver to pit, and I'm assuming he's looking to go very long. So he's gonna try and keep his lap times up and make places while everyone else is pitting. We're gonna see how it pans out. I'm not too certain about. Damn, Hamilton nearly lost the car badly, man. I'm watching the replay. He's nearly lost it. And if he did, he would have crashed straight into Zhu. Zhao? I don't know how you say his name. If he did spin out, he would have crashed right into him. Hamilton's race would have been over. But yeah, Hamilton's down to 12th. Russell's still going in 5th. We've got Hamilton's team radio coming in. Hamilton has done almost a lap, and he's radioed in. And he says there's no grip on this tire. He has absolutely no grip on the tire. He can't get past Zhu, who's overtaken him. He's still stuck behind him. He's opened up the DRS, gone past on the main straight. So he's had to use DRS to pass him. He couldn't pass him anywhere else on the track. Hamilton's really struggling out there. He's actually struggling. There or there. With just cameras just stuck on Hamilton at the moment. But yeah. So much poison from Hamilton when he does opens his DRS for the overtake and he's going down the main straight. That car was doing some serious bouncing, man. It was like, and it was rapid as well. It wasn't even a slow bounce; it was a rapid bounce. Charles Leclerc currently has fastest lap. He's the fastest man on the track. He's lapping the fastest at the moment. He's not looking like he's coming to the pit anytime soon. He's looking comfortable. He's 3.7 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Max hasn't got an answer. Max hasn't got an answer. Ferrari's back. Red Bull are looking at king of tire management to go long. So Perez to go long. So when Leclerc pits to hold him up. So again, like I said, Red Bull looking to deploy that block tactic from Perez to allow Max to do his thing. Ferrari is looking like the strongest team right now. They're looking like the strongest team right now. Sainz is well off the pace. He's not moving anywhere near as quick as Charles Leclerc. He's 7 seconds behind Verstappen. 7 seconds. Whereas Leclerc is almost 4 seconds ahead of Verstappen. Could we have a Leclerc Verstappen season. Just them two battling. All right, here we go. First Red Bull car in, and it's Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen comes in. And 2.9. So it's better than Hamilton's 3.4. Red Bull was a 2.9. Sainz has just come in and they got a 2.3. Better than Red Bull, 2.3. So Sainz came in the same time as yeah, he came in the same time as Max. Max has come out in P4. Sainz has come out in P5, just ahead of Sonoda. Yeah, just ahead of Sonoda. So Verstappen is now behind George Russell, but by quite a bit. We're looking at 7 or 8 seconds behind George Russell. Verstappen has got on to the softs again, a second pair of softs. Sainz has come out on a second pair of softs. Hamilton's on the hard tire. So again, these guys might be pitting us for a second time before Hamilton. So yeah, Hamilton on a completely different strategy. We've got Sergio Perez still out and Charles Leclerc still out and George Russell still out. All three who are ahead of Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is going to look to make some time because obviously he was 3 seconds. Wait, Hamilton's radioing. Hamilton complaining that his pit stop was too early. He said that was a really early stop, too early. He felt like it was too early. He's not happy with the tactics being deployed. Charles Leclerc comes in a 3.1, so slightly slower than Max. Oh, no, wait, that was the same time, wasn't it? Or was Max? No, Max was 2.9, wasn't he? Yeah. Sergio Perez comes in 3.1. Sergio Perez didn't go long. And now Max Verstappen has come out wheel side by side of Charles Leclerc. So the undercut gained him 3.5 seconds. The undercut gained him 3.5 seconds with a brand new set of tires by coming in a lap early. And now he's right on the gearbox of Charles Leclerc within DRS zone. So he's looking to take this. We're going to stay on board with Max here for now. We're on board with Max. He's going around. He's going to look to take him in DRS zone. So we come to second DRS zone. Is he got enough track to make this overtake? No, he doesn't. He's half a second behind. I tell you what, this Ferrari is very quick. Outside that DRS zone, he's already made 2 attempts on Max. He's already made 2 attempts. He's made 4 attempts. Max can't keep up. Max cannot keep up. Max sets the fastest lap. Oh my Lord! Max DRS down the main straight into turn 1, takes him, but it was such an aggressive swerve. He obviously. Wait! Charles Leclerc's coming back. Charles Leclerc come back. He's overtaken Max. The old switcheroo. Leclerc is back in front. Oh, the great driving from the two. Great driving from the two. Max almost completely lost his car. He was tucked up right behind Charles Leclerc down the main straight, coming into turn 1. And obviously, as he got really close with his DRS open, he swerved out to go down on the inside. But it was such an aggressive swerve. The car, he had to kind of keep it. Whoa, he nearly lost it, man. But yeah, there's 2 DRS within those first 2 corners, isn't there? So as he passed him, because Max was ahead at the DRS detection zone, which is at the end of the straight, coming into the first turn, Max just was ahead. If Max was behind, he would have had the overtake done because the DRS detection zone would have given Max the DRS and he would have had it for the for the third corner. So yeah, because he was ahead, Leclerc had it. Leclerc opened up his DRS and then came back at Max. So here we go down again. So this time, yeah, he's done it again down into turn 1. Max has done it again. That was a massive lunge. That was crazy. They're side by side in turn 4, side by side. Leclerc's retaken. It's the same move. It's the exactly same move. The following lap. So coming down the main straight, Max is exactly half a second behind. The DRS is gaining. Leclerc enters braking zone. Max goes so late on the brakes, flies down on the inside, holds the car right in the middle of the track, overtakes Leclerc. But because he's past Leclerc and he's half a car left in front at the DRS detection zone, as they come through turn 1 and 2, going up into turn 3, Charles Leclerc just opens back up his DRS late on his brakes and takes him into turn 4. It's crazy. Max needs to. So here we go again. Max is behind. Yep, here we go again. Down into turn 1. Max has got DRS open. He's further back though. He doesn't do it. He doesn't do it this time. He's further back. And now Max is out of DRS. No, he's not quite. He's almost out of DRS range. Wow. So this time, what Max did was he had his DRS open. He didn't go for the overtake. He stuck his car behind Leclerc. So he kept the DRS zone going into turn 4. And then he tried what Leclerc done to him. But he was so far back. Went for the overtake and had a massive lockup in his front right. Ended up going wide. So he passed Leclerc, ended up going wide. But because he went so wide, Leclerc just pulled it back. So they're battling lap after lap in this DRS zone, DRS detection zone. They're just going backwards and forward at each other. It's crazy. We're not even being shown any other racing across the track. We're not seeing any midfield battle. We're not seeing a Hamilton. We're not seeing back of the pack. It's literally just stuck on Hamilton and Leclerc. So I even got nothing else to report to you guys. It's just. And now Max has got a huge flat spot. It's absolutely massive flat spot on that front right. That lockup was huge. So Perez sets the fastest lap. And now Max no longer has DRS anymore. He's 1.2 seconds behind. Max has been told by his team to not do any more of that. He said his brakes are in trouble. I don't know what that means, whether it's overheating or some sort of malfunctioning or catching fire or what, but he's been told to cut it. So yeah, Max is now 1.2 seconds behind. I don't think he'll be challenging again on this stint. Obviously, he's going to be challenging throughout the race. I don't think he's going to be challenging again in this stint. He's got a massive flat spot on his tire. His crew has told him to cut out that heavy braking. His brakes are in trouble. He was actually told he's got one shot at the overtake, so he had his shot, and he actually did it 3 times. So he did it 2 more times than he was told to. Obviously, as a driver, you're competitive. You want to go for it, innit? And you want to win. So he's going to give it all. So I don't think Max has stopped because his team told him to. I think he's just stopped because he's overworked the car. He's gone heavy on the brakes. He's flat spotted his tire, and now he's losing time at a rapid rate. And Ferrari are just praising Charles Leclerc, just praising for his driving, praising him for holding or keeping off Max, and just keep it the same. You're 1.5 ahead. Just keep it the same. You're chilling. So now that we've seen what we've seen and we've kind of settled with Max in second and he's not going to be challenging anytime soon, we are now getting multiple replays of what's been happening throughout the rest of the track. We're seeing the McLaren's being overtaken. Daniel Ricciardo is in 19th, so really bad race day for him. Really bad race day. He hasn't gone anywhere. Norris is in 15th. It's not a good day for McLaren. What other big boys have we got? We've got the two Williams running side by side in 16th and 17th. Lance Stroll is in 18th. Bottas, who qualified in 6th, is down all the way in 12th. His teammate is in 13th, Zhu. So we've got a lot of teams that are running side by side. It's like, if I have to say what I'm seeing, the teams are just obviously, except for the guys at the front, because obviously they'll run different strategies to help their number one driver win the race. But everyone else, so for example, we've got Hamilton, Russell, 5th and 6th, Alonso, Ocon, 9th and 10th, Bottas and Zhao, 12th and 13th, Albon, Latifi, 16th, 17th. So we've got a lot of the teams running side by side with their drivers. And obviously you've got Ferrari in 1st and 3rd, Red Bull in 2nd and 4th. So I don't know if that means anything, but usually this is not how Formula One is ran. But it's like the cars are even, the drivers are even, the cars are running in the places that they should be, and it is what it is. I think the biggest gap between teammates is Magnussen and Mick Schumacher. Mick Schumacher's in 14th. Magnussen is in 7th. Phenomenal day for him. Phenomenal day for Magnussen. Max Verstappen now 2.6 behind Charles Leclerc. So it's looking like his race could be done. Not race done, but he might be losing the chance to win this race. And I say that because he could go for another undercut, but remember these tires haven't been on long enough to warrant another pit. By the time you get to that pit window for the second pit, Max could end up 4 or 5 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. And if that's the case, I don't think he's going to have enough to make up 4 or 5 seconds worth of an undercut. And obviously, if Charles comes out again, when he second stop, anywhere between a second or more ahead, and Max ain't in DRS range, kind of think that's his race over, because the Ferrari is looking stronger than the Red Bull at the moment. It genuinely is looking stronger than the Red Bull. So, well played, Ferrari. Yeah, Sainz is looking comfortable in 3rd. Sainz is 3 seconds ahead. No, he's 2.7 seconds ahead of Perez. So yeah, I think he's comfortable with Perez behind him. Don't have to push too hard. Don't have to go too slow. He's just comfortable where he is. Hamilton's in 5th, but Hamilton is way off the pace. But obviously Hamilton's on a slow tire. Him and Russell are both on the hard tire. So in that time where Max was battling for first with Charles Leclerc, George Russell took his pit, which I didn't see. I kind of missed that because we were so focused on the battle. But Russell pitted, and he's also on the hard tire. He's running behind Hamilton. He's about 5 seconds behind Hamilton. But because they're on the slower set of tires, obviously they're going to be lapping a lot slower than those guys on the soft tires. So yeah, Hamilton's quite a distance behind. Ooh. But I think everyone else is going for a three stop, and the Mercedes are going for a two stop. So definitely their strategy is to cut out a pit stop altogether to make up time and try and gain places that way, because they're not going to gain it during the race. Like if they match everyone else tire for tire, they're not going to make up places. They're just going to Hamilton will just end up finishing in fifth because their car is just not up to the pace. So I think Mercedes are trying to eliminate a pit stop by going longer, but then by doing that, you're just losing time to the other guys. So I don't know if they're going to be able to make up that kind of time by eliminating a pit. But we'll see. We'll see what Mercedes got to offer later on. Mercedes' game plan will come into play much later on during this race. Yeah, Perez is not gaining any time on signs. And there's not really much else to say. The rest of the pack just seems very, very stagnant. It looks like I'll tell you what it looks like for these cars. I'll tell you what it looks like. So to me, it looks like it's easier for the cars to follow behind one another than it was last season in the terms of dirty air, losing grip, wearing your tires. You wanted to be in clean air, to get the optimal performance out of the car. That's not the case this season. But I think what they've lost, what they've sacrificed in being able to follow behind more closely behind the car is that extra performance, that extra bit of speed. That like we're really struggling to see overtakes. Like everyone else is being able to kind of match everyone's speed. Everyone can go late on the brakes. The only times we're seeing overtakes is in DRS. Like we're not really seeing overtakes outside of DRS. So the cars are really struggling. And obviously, I know it's only the first race. It's the first track. We might see a different pattern on different tracks, different circuits. But just from this first race, it looks like the cars can follow more closely behind, but they are struggling to overtake because everyone just seems to be matching everyone's pace. It's like everyone's driving in neutral cars. Like the cars are the same. Well, obviously they're not the same because that's why you've got Leclerc, Verstappen at the front, and you got McLaren's at the back. But it just feels like there's not much between the cars that are fighting against each other. Bottas has tried to pass Sonoda, but didn't quite make it. Sonoda went very wide and almost crashed into him, and Bottas had to pull out. So fair play on Bottas for pulling out because that would have been an accident. So he will get it done soon, I believe. Yeah, Bottas is gonna nab him. I hope the Alpines can stick it and keep it 9th and 10th because I've got them as my constructors this season on the Fantasy F1. So I hope they can stick it. And for those of you that don't know, I'm a Ferrari fan. Yeah, I'm all for Ferrari. I'm not. I'm not a Max camp. I actually don't even like Max too tough. I think his attitude. That was a What was that? Alpine stop 3 point. What is that? 3.0. Yeah, it was Alonso that's just come in, and Alonso has gone on a hard tire. So Alonso's gone for the two stop. Um, So if you use the hard tire, you're trying to go for a 2-stop. If you don't use the hard tire, you're on for a 3-stop. Lando Norris is in dead last because he just took a pit stop. I think Lando just took his first stop from his starting mediums and has gone on the hard for a one-stop strategy. They're playing one risky game. So what they said is the hard tire looks very, very, very bad at the moment. They said it's just too hard and it's got absolutely no pace. It looks very, very slow. But then Lando was questioning, why have you put me on it then? But they're like, if we don't, you're not going to get to the end of the race. And obviously, they feel like the only way that they're going to get points is by doing a one stop because they do not have any pace whatsoever. McLaren looks absolutely terrible. They look awful. They look so discombobulated, like they haven't worked on the car all season, like that, like they just pieced it together a week ago. Their car looks terrible. It looks really, really bad. So yeah, Lando's running in 20th, just come out of the pit, and I think that's his pit strategy complete, barring any crashes or safety cars or any changes that can change the things. Verstappen radio. He's complaining about his tires, saying that he's got absolutely no grip. They're gone too early. Commentary is hilarious. They're saying, "What do you expect? The way you aggressively use your tires at the beginning to try and get past Leclerc." Yeah, I must say, Verstappen, and I noticed this a lot last season. Verstappen is very, very bad at looking after his tires. Like, and this is another reason why I don't quite like Max. Like, he has an excuse, and he's always complaining and arguing and upset about everything, right? And doesn't put any of the onus on himself. 1 second, Hamilton video. So Hamilton just come into a pit on mediums, and radio just told him it's extremely important we don't push too hard on the outlap. They're trying to save the tires to the end of the race. So Hamilton has just completed his pit strategy. So 2-stop went from hard, now he's on mediums. Okay, yeah, and so Hamilton's now out in 8th. What I was saying is, yeah, reason why I don't like Max is because he's got an excuse for everything. He moans about everything, complains about everything, always angry, upset, whatever, right? Yeah, I don't mind people complaining, being angry, upset about certain things, certain situations, certain errors. I ain't got a problem with that. But he does it all the time and never owns up to his mistakes or never says, put his hands up and says, that was my bad. It's like, oh, well, why didn't they do this? Yeah, I did that and we crashed, but why didn't they do that? Well, the onus ain't on them to do that. It was for you to back out of the corner or be a little less aggressive, etc. And then, like, in this case, for example, his tires being shot to hell. Your team told you that you got one shot at the overtake, and you decided to take 3. They told you to go easy on the brakes. The car can't handle anymore. You're the one that locked up and flat spotted your tire, and now your tires are gone. You're complaining about it. Well, that's your own fault. You got no one else to blame but yourself. That ain't the car's fault. It ain't the mechanic's fault. You know, it's completely your own fault. So shut up and get on with it. Make do with your errors. Um, that's just typical Max. Yeah, I wanted him to win last season because just only because I was anyone but Hamilton fan. But obviously, if it was Red Bull fighting for, I mean not Red Bull, Ferrari fighting for the championship, I would have been all for Ferrari. Hell to hell with Max. But yeah, it was just happened that it was the one that was Max for fighting Lewis for the championship. But yeah, good on Ferrari, man. I hope they take this win. I hope they bring it home, and Max can stay there and suffer. Russell's still out in fifth on his hard set of tyres. But Hamilton did stop before him. Hamilton was the very first person to pit on this race. So medium compound stronger than expected was the message to Charles Leclerc right now. So he'll be getting ready to come onto his medium tyres now to see out the end of the race. So yeah, Hamilton is absolutely not going to finish any higher than fifth this race because he's just taking his final pit and he's trying to get to the end of the race. Leclerc and Verstappen and them guys at the front are still out. And if they pit now, they're going to be going on the mediums and they can see it to the end of the race. So Hamilton is not going to get a chance to catch these guys at all. So his race is over in terms of getting into the podiums. He's just got to keep it on the track and try and finish as high as possible, which for him is fifth, fighting against his teammate Russell for the place. In comes Max, in before Charles Leclerc, in before Sainz. So Sainz and Perez have gone through. So Max is down to fourth. So now this is interesting because Leclerc and Sainz are both still out. So do they bring in Leclerc first to cover the undercut on Max? Or do they bring in Sainz now and then Leclerc? Or do they keep Sainz out? I think, yep, the radio message just in right now, straight away, Leclerc, box, box, box. They've just told him box, box, box. So Leclerc's coming in now. Sainz is going to stay out a little bit longer. And they're just doing it to cover Max because obviously he gained like 3.5 seconds last time out on the undercut. We're just waiting for Leclerc to come in. All right, Charles Leclerc is in now. I missed the time on Max's stop, but it looked very quick. It did look very quick. There was no mistakes. It was just off, on, and away you go. Leclerc, super fast stop. 2.5, very, very quick. I think that kind of matched, if not even better, Max. Max is on the main straight. Charles Leclerc has just come out, down on the throttle, and he's going to hold his place. Max, again, he's gained like another 3.5 seconds. But yeah, Ferrari needed that quick stop. They needed it because every 10th counts. If that was from 2.5 to 2.9, an extra 4/10, Max could well and truly have gone through. That was a very, very good pit stop and much needed for Ferrari. So it's Sainz leads, Perez second because obviously them two haven't stopped yet. So Max is extremely angry now. So he's just been on the radio. His team has told him, be very, very gentle and easy on the outlap. And Max has just come onto the radio and he was shouting at them and he goes, I'm going to repeat what he said and not try and be too loud and aggressive, but he was very, very, very aggressive and he was shouting. But he was like, you've told me to be very easy on the outlap and I've gone easy to preserve the tyre and I've come out just behind. If I had given it all I got on the outlap, I would have 100% been past Charles Leclerc. I'm never, ever, ever, ever doing it again and listening to you lot. Again. Max finding blame elsewhere, and he's quite upset about it. Clearly, um, can't blame him. I mean, as a racer, you're thinking. I know what he's thinking. If I had gone hard and made the overtake on his pit, then I could keep him at bay. I can keep him behind me whilst preserving my tires. You want to keep it clean, try and preserve your tires. But knowing Max, that wouldn't have been the case. Max would aggressively use his tires to either build a gap or stay out in front, and he would. I think this is Leclerc's race to lose, man. Whether he got through or not. I understand. I understand his complaints, but you have to understand, bro. This Ferrari car's faster than you. Perez is into the pit now. .2 for Sainz and 2 points. It's so hard to see the pit stop times for Red Bull because they're using the blue text because obviously they're a blue car, but it's a dark blue on a black background, whereas everyone else is like blue, red for Ferrari on a black background and white on a black background. And their one is it looks exactly the same, but yeah, it was 2.6 for Perez and 2.4 for Carlos Sainz. George Russell 3.2, not the best. Russell was just coming for his final stop. So Russell was pitted 6 laps after Hamilton on the same tyre. Hamilton's ahead by a bit, and Russell's going to be catching because Russell's got much fresher tyres, 6 laps younger tyres. So we'll see where they finish. Max has been given a radio message that he is now free to push as hard as he wants to catch Leclerc. They're laughing and mocking Max for saying, "I'm never, ever, ever, ever listen to you ever again." As they said, I've heard that one from the kids before, and mocking him, soaking a bit. And they're saying that they're quite adamant that he wouldn't have made the overtake, even if he had gone as hard as he could. They're looking at the lap times and they're like, "We're not going much faster. You would have gone faster, not much faster, but it wouldn't have been enough to make the overtake." And I kind of agree. The distance was quite big when Leclerc came out. The only reason why Max ended up right behind because Max went super late on the brakes into that first corner. And obviously, when he got really close, it made it look like a pair that if he had gone a bit harder, he could have made the overtake, but he wouldn't have because he was such a long way back. He was such a long way back. You know what? It's been a really, really bad day for McLaren. Just no action from them whatsoever. Magnussen just passed Pierre Gasly for 9th on a fresh set of tyres. Good drive from Magnussen today, man. Good on him. Good on him. Getting his survival. I mean, get second stint at Haas and redemption, proving that he's got it. Fun stat. Last time Ferrari led every lap of a Grand Prix was in Belgium 2018, and they've done so today so far. They've led every single lap. So if Charles Leclerc takes this home, they would have dominated. Oh, he said his name was Joe. Right, yeah, so Magnussen is now past Joe, up into 8th. Fun fact, Magnussen was the last person to score any points for Team Haas, and he's about to do it again. Let's go, Magnussen. It's just gotten a bit boring at the moment. It's just a bit of a merry-go-round at the moment. There's not much action. Apart from Magnussen making those 2 overtakes. We're looking at the Alpine cars now, and they're just running side by side. Literally, there's no one behind them, no one in front of them. They're not troubled by anyone. They're just running their own race. Teammates just falling one behind the other. Ocon passes Alonso in DRS zone. I'm assuming Alonso will take him back in the next DRS, and them two will just keep switching around.
decent race for Haas, or a good race for them too. If Gasly scores points for AlphaTauri, they'll be pleased with that. Alpine will be pleased with a double points finish. But there's a few teams that will wander away from Bahrain thinking, no, that was not a good night for us. This was Ocon getting past Alonso a couple of moments ago.
His teammate kept his head calm in the braking zone. Felt the need to do a little jink at the top of the hill to put his teammate off from having a run back at him. But once again, those two pretty even on performance. Yeah, I mean, obviously, Aston Martin and McLaren are going to leave pretty unhappy, aren't they, with the way it's gone for the qualifying and the race.
Absolutely. Just as you said that, we saw the Aston Martin getting past. It's not been good for them at all. Valtteri Bottas making his way past Lance Stroll. Andrew Green, their chief technical.
Not much is happening.
They've been suffering porpoising issues. Not really seen much of that.
No team radios. No one complaining about anything. It's just business as usual. Just get on with the race and try and make up places.
3/4 of a second a lap. You just can't get it any lower.
Yeah. And you throw away huge amounts of performance with a ground effect car. You lift it up.
In comes Lance Stroll from 14th place to take his pit stop. I'm assuming by now he's probably going to go on a final set of softs. No, he goes on the mediums.
Philosophers of this car, it was a bit slow getting away for Lance Stroll. It could be 4 or 5 races, arguably, before they could put a fix in.
Yeah, and then you've got to make all the parts, keep attending the races, do it all within the budget cap, or the cap of the budget you've got available to spend.
That's the thing, if you're trying to make too many parts, then you quickly get to the limit of that budget cap as well.
It's a lovely car, isn't it? Aston Martin. That's new, isn't it? We don't often see Formula 1 drivers trying to weave and warm their tyres up. That's going to be a feature of the year as the exit pits.
He was on his own. He was dull to do it because there was no one around him. We're on board with Yuki Tsunoda. Fernando Alonso is the car in front. Fernando Alonso is on the hard compound tyre. Tsunoda is on the soft compound tyre. He would dearly like to score points here in Bahrain.
So since there's not much happening, let's run through the order of the grid. We have got Charles Leclerc leading the championship, 3.6 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, leaving him behind. Max hasn't got an answer. Max has not got an answer. We have then got Carlos Sainz in 3rd place, Sergio Perez in 4th, Lewis Hamilton in 5th, George Russell in 6th. Then we got Kevin Magnussen in 7th, Pierre Gasly in 8th, Ocon in 9th, Alonso in 10th. We've got Yuki Tsunoda. Wait, sorry, what? I've said that all wrong. Sorry, Magnussen 7th, Gasly 8th, Ocon 9th, Yuki Tsunoda 10th because he just made an overtake. It kind of flipped round. Yuki Tsunoda 10th, Alonso now 11th, lost the place. 1 second, it's just screen just changed. I'll resume that in just a sec. So yeah, so we got Alonso 11th, Valtteri Bottas in 12th, Zhu in 13th, Mick Schumacher in 14th, Lando Norris in 15th, Lance Stroll in 16th, Alex Albon in 17th, Daniel Ricciardo in 18th, Nicholas Latifi in 19th, and I can't quite see. They've chopped off 20th place, but whoever I haven't mentioned is in last. They've chopped off 20th place, and I don't know why they've done that. Why would you chop off 20th? Who haven't I mentioned, guys? Let me know. Who could be in 20th? Latifi 19th. Oh, they brought it back now. Hulkenberg is in 20th.
Sergio Perez gets to about 2 seconds behind Carlos Sainz. I'm sure some bright spark on the radio says, Carlos, old chap, would you mind just putting your foot down a little bit more? And Carlos responds with a decent lap. And on this particular lap, he's put in a 1:36.7, and Sergio Perez has put in a 1:37.6, and the gap has gone up to 2.8 seconds. So Carlos can sing Sade songs and relax just a little bit more. Ted, down to you.
Crofty Martin, should we have a game of I Told You So with Max Verstappen's lap times?
Go on,
The stop. So, with a little help from my friends here in Bahrain and back in the UK, we've got the times on the out laps. And what it shows is that Verstappen's first out lap was 0.2 of a second quicker than Leclerc's first out lap. And then Leclerc's second out lap was almost a second actually quicker than Verstappen's out lap. So on the second pit stops. So that reflects Leclerc's quick pit stop time, doesn't it? And so the big question really, so the conclusion really is that Max might be mistaken and that he did do quite a quick out lap anyway. And if he could have gone quicker, it doesn't look like he could have gone too much quicker based on his current best sector times as well. Of course, the one remaining question was the is Max right question. In the is Max right game is how quick does Max think he could have gone on those out laps? And that, I guess, we'll find out by talking to him after the race. But at the moment, the evidence doesn't suggest that Max is right, that he could have easily been in the lead.
And even if it had got into the lead, I just wonder if it had kept the lead. Ferrari
15 laps to go.
here tonight. And I know there's been moments where Max has tried to maybe overtake, but Leclerc's looked pretty much in control for me.
Yeah, but the Red Bull's clearly been faster in a straight line just by itself, hasn't it? Then you add in the goodies of DRS and slipstream. But then the DRS then saved the day for Ferrari back up to turn 4. And it's pretty feisty driving.
Lando's pitting from 17th place. This is embarrassing, man. I'm sorry.
So at this opening race of the season,
This is embarrassing.
second gap between himself and Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc might just be thinking to himself,
Imagine coming in for your final pit stop from 17th place. Lando Norris in a McLaren. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
together. I don't want anything mechanical to go wrong. I want a nice, smooth ending to this race.
We have Leclerc, then Verstappen.
That's the sort of thing he wants to hear. It's turning into almost, Martin, redemption night for Charles Leclerc.
Let me eat some of my barbecue rib, Chris. I'll mute my mic so you don't hear the crunching down the mic, guys. Hold on. I got some news. Max Verstappen has come in for a late pit stop with only 14 laps remaining. He was due to go to the end, but because they know they can't win, they've come in for a pit, and they've doubled the pit stop. So they've brought in Sergio Perez as well on the same lap. Verstappen and Perez both in. Verstappen on the softs, so the fastest set of tires. Carlos Sainz has gone through, and Verstappen is 9.5 seconds behind Perez. I mean, not Perez, behind Carlos Sainz. Whoa, that's a risky, bold move from Red Bull.
Absolutely no idea. But he's something about being very happy. I'm sure he will be if he can get back into second or even first. Just to let you know, Lewis Hamilton has passed Sergio Perez. Ted, down to you.
And with Perez coming in, Hamilton has got through up into 4th. But obviously he's only a small distance ahead, and I'm yeah, with Red Bull being a lot quicker than the Mercedes, Perez will get back at him. Carlos Sainz is getting ready to pit. Sainz is coming in. So they've done that to block off Sergio Perez because they've already said, yeah, Max will get past you anyway because he's. So wait. Something's happened to Max. Something's wrong with Max. It's the steering. Is he retiring the car? Wait. What is going on? Hamilton is now coming to the pit. Everyone's coming in now, man. What is going on? Okay. Verstappen is 26 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. So if like I said, the mediums that they're on, they're not exactly new, and there's like wait, the crew told Max that we need to box. He hasn't come in yet. He set a fastest sector one of the wait, another radio message. A car is on fire. Safety car. Safety car. Pierre Gasly's car is on fire. The engine is on fumes. Safety car. No, it's not a full safety car. It's a virtual safety car. Max is being questioned rigorous. That wait, what's going on? Yeah, Max is being questioned heavily by his pit crew, asking him about the steering. So Max's problem is that the steering is not working. It's heavy and he can't really turn it. They've told him that he needs to box to fix something mechanically, but he didn't come in. But they're trying to figure out if he does need to box and whether he can manage it. He's saying that he can't. But now the virtual safety cars come out with him going at half pace or whatever they have to go at with the virtual safety car. Charles Leclerc is going to pit under virtual safety car so he doesn't lose much time. So it covers off Max. This is all gone AWOL. This is brilliant for Ferrari. Max may have had a shot at winning because obviously we don't know if Charles Leclerc was going to make it to the end on the mediums or how intact those tires would have been in. I mean, my assumption was Leclerc would have won anyway because on the softs, Max would have burnt through his rubber pretty quickly and he wouldn't have had enough to make an overtake because the Ferrari car is faster. Yeah, so the replay on Gasly that we're just watching now, he was taking the corner and the car just turned off. The power just turned off. And as it happened, the car just went up in flames. He jumped out so fast. Literally, the whole car is engulfed in fire. Literally. Orange flames, car engulfed in flames. Just yep. And Charles Leclerc pit 2.8 seconds. Coming out under safety car. Stays out in front. And now the virtual safety car has changed into a full safety car, and we're gonna bunch back up. So we're gonna have lights out again. Verstappen is told his pit crew to keep checking because something is stuck. Max is weaving left and right. He's saying there's something stuck in his steering, preventing him from turning. Something's happened under his pit. Whether something like when they took off one of the nuts in the tires, maybe something's got stuck in the car. But he's saying something is stuck, and they've told him that it's quite possible that you're going to need to pit to fix it, pull out whatever needs to pull out, or change whatever needs to change the tires or something. But Max is saying that he can't really drive it, and obviously that's a downer for him because now we've got a full safety car. The pack is gonna bunch up, and Max has got a chance at winning this. but he doesn't if his car if he can't turn his car. And obviously now this brings, because Hamilton and Russell have just done another pit under the safety car on a fresh set of softs. So again, this brings the Mercedes back into play. Hamilton and Russell, this is a restart with everyone back. So let me tell you the order behind the safety car. We've got Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell, Magnussen, Bottas, Ocon, and Mick Schumacher make up the top 10. Yes, you heard correctly. 2 Haas cars in the top 10 for this restart. Red Bull have told Max that you're staying out. We don't think it's a reliability concern. You should be able to manage it, and we'll look at it later and talk about it later and see what it could have been. But he's been told that he's staying out. This is crazy. This is crazy. Now all lap cars are unlapping themselves. Charles Leclerc is complaining that safety cars not going fast enough in the straight. I can't put heat into my tires. You have to realize, Charles, they're not in an F1 car. They can't do 150.
Oh, I don't know, Martin. Just getting my nerves back after all this talk about safety cars and unlapping cars. Not again, Scruffy. You're giving me flashbacks.
Ted, lapped cars may now overtake
Oh, no,
the safety
don't
car.
start with that.
And guess what, Ted? There are 6 of them. You counted properly.
I'm traumatized. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. I've only just got over it. 14 weeks. I've only just got over it. Anyway, let's move on.
28 days, Ted.
correctly observed, stayed out, so not done an extra stop, whereas pretty much everybody else has. He's already on 13-lap old soft tyres, so it's a brave move from the Haas guys. Both Haas cars at the moment in the points. So he is going to come under pressure. Team ready, second step. But it's not getting better. Well, I hope that means retire the car. Yeah. So what do we think? He's just going to have to be muscle man to get it round the last few laps. In any case, yeah. So Mick Schumacher has having a go. They stayed out. They've got track position ahead of Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso, but both those drivers on new or new-ish tyres.
So
Yeah, it's going to be some tall order.
Max has just been on his radio throughout this whole safety, and basically the final message that you just received from his engineer is that, all right, Max, the situation is not getting worse. It's not worsening. You're gonna have to live with it. We can't do anything about it. And if it becomes too difficult for you to drive and you think it's undrivable and you can't do it anymore, you know what the situation is. That is just box the car and retire it. Pull it into the garage. So Max ain't gonna pick to fix the issue. It is either manage it and be Superman. Because he's saying it's very difficult to turn the steering wheel. He's using a lot of strength to do it. It's becoming difficult. So if it becomes too hard for him, he's gonna have to retire the car. We have about 8 laps left. Well, we're still on the safety car. I think safety car's in this lap. So when it comes in, we're gonna have 7 laps remaining, 7 laps left. Everyone, the whole grid from 1st to 20th is on. Oh, 1 second. My camera has just decided to turn itself off. I'll get it back on in a second, but I'll still talk to you. Yeah. So they will have 7 laps from 1st to 20th, all on softs to make up places. They'll have 7 laps. Safety car's getting ready to come in. Yeah, so they will have 7 laps to do what they need to do. So Max has to manage the struggle that he's having with his tires. So I'm just trying to get my camera back on. But yeah, Max is going to have to manage for the remaining 7 laps with difficult steering. And if he can't, he's just going to have to retire the car. I don't think with that steering issue, he's going to be able to pass Charles Leclerc, especially as he's in a slower car this weekend. So it's looking good for a Red Bull, not a Red Bull, for a Ferrari win, which pleases me much. And again, Max is hustling Charles at the front on this restart. He loves to do this if he's not the guy that's leading. I think Sainz is getting past. Sainz has gone past. Nope. Verstappen holds. Verstappen holds one beautifully. Oh my God! Lewis Hamilton nearly crashed into Perez. Sorry, I'm just fixing my camera. I'm still watching. Don't worry. Come on, Charles, man. Let's go. Front 6 remained exactly as they were. No one made any overtakes. And again, with no DRS, I don't expect it to change because these are the faster cars, isn't it? Like Leclerc's faster than Verstappen, Verstappen's faster than Sainz. Like no one ain't going to be passing. Obviously, if Verstappen's got an issue with steering, so that might play a factor. Alonso gets past Mick Schumacher up into 11th. Nice one, Alonso. It's a lot of jostling going on. Um, and this restart hasn't done any favors for the McLaren boys. They're still right down there, man. Daniel Ricciardo's in 16th. Lando Norris is in 17th. And Lando qualified higher than Daniel Ricciardo. It's been a shocking weekend. 16th and 17th. Shocking. Verstappen is going to finish in third because Carlos Sainz is tucked up right behind him, and Verstappen, with his steering issues, cannot pull away. So after this third lap, when DRS comes back up, it could, because Leclerc's already pulled away. Verstappen is already 2 seconds behind Charles Leclerc, so he's not going to get any DRS while the cars behind him are. So Max could potentially be in trouble. He could potentially be in trouble. I think the only bonus is that behind Sainz is Perez, and I don't think Perez will pass Max. I think Red Bull will just keep it. The instruction as keep the rest of the cars behind him. And Perez is going to be under pressure from the Mercedes boys because they're behind him and they got DRS. He's opened it up now. This is crazy. Max Verstappen losing half a second in sector 2 every time, where he's usually level with Charles Leclerc. But that's mainly because it's heavily reliant on steering, twisty turnies, and heavy on the braking, and heavy cornering. But he's got the steering issues. Sainz's DRS is open all over the back of Max. I don't know if Max holds on for the last 4 laps or 3 laps, whatever it is. It's looking shaky. Sainz has got him in DRS. He's got him. Ferrari 1-2, Red Bull 3-4 at the moment. Everyone, oh, the whole grid is passing Max. Max is pulling up. Oh, he's pulled off the side of the track. His car's gone down into the pit lane. He's DNF. Max is out. The engineer had just come on and just said, "Oh, we can finally see what the problem is." And as soon as they said that, his car's given out. So yeah, Max has DNF. Max has DNF. He's out. So we've got Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Russell. Max is out. Max is out. It's a Ferrari 1-2, man. This is what we'd love to see. Perez has got the same issue. Perez said he's losing power. He's got the same issue as Max. Hamilton's closing in. Hamilton's gonna get him. Hamilton's gonna get him. Because he said, "Get your elbows out. You got 2 laps to go." And Hamilton's behind him. So get your elbows out. You got 2 laps to go. Perez is like, "I'm losing power." His car might pull up too. He might be retiring. Are we seeing reliability issues from Red Bull? What's going on? Hamilton's fighting for the podium because obviously Perez is in third. I don't even know if Perez makes it to the end of the race. That car's struggling. Final lap. Final lap. If Hamilton don't make the pass down into this turn 1, he won't get it again unless obviously Perez engine claps out on him. No, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. Perez spins out. He lost the car. He's lost it on turn 2. He's out. Well, not out the race, but he spun out and he can't bring it back on because all the cars are coming around. So it's unsafe to join. Oh, he's just sat there. He's not moving. Wait, what's happened? Replays. Oh, he just lost it. Oh no, he said his engine just. Oh, he said his engine just turned off or something. He said lock up from the engine. The engine just gave out. So we're seeing double engine failure from the Red Bulls. Double engine failure from Red Bull. So now both have retired. Both Perez and Verstappen are out of the race. Wow. 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 Charles Leclerc wins. Carlos Sainz seconds. Lewis Hamilton third. George Russell fourth. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Ferrari. Let's go. Let's go. Oi. 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 All right, I don't want to keep you guys too long. Because because obviously the race is over now, and obviously they're gonna have the celebrations. They're gonna talk to the drivers. I'll watch that stuff, but in terms of the stream, we'll just wrap it up, give a quick overview. So my prediction at the start of the race was I thought it was going to be a bit, calamitous. I thought there was going to be DNFs. I thought there was going to be, mayhem in terms of the poison causing an effect on the cars, going the distance. I think that, I thought there was going to be engine failures. I thought there was going to be cars retiring. And we had that, not only from Red Bull, but we had that. There's obviously reliability issues amongst all the teams except for Ferrari. Ferrari looks solid. Their car looks fast. They look reliable. It looks sturdy, strong. Yeah, Red Bull looked quick. Well, Max was quickish, but they had reliable. They had steering issues, engine problems, braking issues. They told Max not to brake too heavy. They had all sorts of problems: braking, steering, engine. It doesn't get much worse than that. So there's reliability issues from everyone. Mercedes obviously got their issues. They look very slow and clumsy today. Albeit they finished third and fourth, obviously to a double DNF for Red Bull. But yeah, they look very slow and clumsy. Safety car at the end that came into play that affected the race. But all in all, Ferrari managed and handled everything magnificently. Ferrari, beautiful 1-2, magnificent, perfect. Can't fault them. And I said it once before, and I'm saying it again. Ferrari are back. Come on, back, man. So I'm talking about. Ain't no Max out here. Ain't no Red Bull out here. It's Ferrari out here. Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz. But yeah, it was a good. It was a good, exciting race, and I can't ask for much more. Driver of the day, Charles Leclerc. He was cool, calm, collected all race, all day. Ferrari led the whole day. Charles Leclerc led the whole day. You gotta give him driver of the day. From the first race, indications look like championship battle is going to be between Ferrari and Ferrari. What did I say? Ferrari and Red Bull. I was going to say Ferrari and Ferrari. I mean, it might well be, but yeah, Ferrari and Red Bull. Mercedes looking like they're the third best team at the moment. They're not looking competitive in terms of the front two. Being the third best means that you could, potentially fight for the front the front two places, but they don't look like they're anywhere near the pace. Anywhere near the pace. We're talking about Lewis Hamilton before the safety car. You're talking about 20, 30 seconds behind the leaders. Lewis Hamilton. That's a bad car. That's a bad car that they got there. So at the moment, we can't consider and think about Mercedes, taking home any championships or constructors. It's looking like a bad year for them. But, Mercedes will do what Mercedes do and bring it back. They'll think about something, bringing in a new part, working on something, changing something, tweaking something, and, they'll be back. But they are a long way off. They are a long way off the speed. They're a long way off. They're not even close. They're not even close. But it looks like it's Ferrari, Red Bull. McLaren are looking like Haas of last season, because what was that? And they've got drivers like Lando Norris and Daniel Ricciardo. It's not even like it was Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin of last year. They've got two accomplished drivers, and they finished at the back of the grid. No, that's the Haas car of last year. I'm telling you, it's bad. It is bad. But again, it's a great weekend. I enjoyed it. When we go again next race weekend, we go again. I'll be back. Like I said, I'm gonna try and cover every race as much as possible. I might throw in a couple qualifying sessions here and there if it's worth it. We'll see. Throw in a couple qualifying sessions, but I'm one happy boy. I am one happy boy right now, except for the fact that I got Max in my fantasy team, but everyone's got Max, so it doesn't really make any difference. So yeah, well played, GG. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure. I'm gonna try and do this, like I said, we've got what 22 races this season. I want to try and get at least minimum 20 of these watch-alongs. We're going to try and do it all the time. So hopefully you lot enjoyed. Again, thanks for watching. Remember, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and see you again next race.